The officer picked up the candy that had fallen on the ground. Then he stuffed it into a soldier's mouth. The soldier felt humiliated, but did not dare to speak because he was planning to defect from the country. Late at night, when everyone was asleep, he slipped out of the camp through a ventilation opening. Then he crawled into a pre-dug tunnel and quietly crossed the fence, finally reaching the minefield. He then used a stick to mark the location of each landmine and drew a map to avoid them. Looking at the border, his eyes were filled with hope. But then a landmine exploded. It turned out to be a wild boar. The soldier was worried that he would be discovered and hurriedly returned to the camp. The next day, he forged a pass and sneaked into the officer's office. He used a thin pen to open the cabinet and stamp the pass. Then he observed with a telescope and found that leaving through the main gate was the safest, so he helped a drunk officer into the car. Then he pretended to be the driver and drove towards the gate. Suddenly, the officer woke up. The soldier was sweating all over. Fortunately, the officer just asked for water. The soldier immediately handed it over. Thus, the man successfully left the camp. The officer was left in the wilderness. However, not long after the soldier left, he found that the car was out of gas. Meanwhile, the military was catching up. To avoid being caught, the soldier had to run as fast as he could. Then he jumped into a river and successfully escaped. He reached the border area and called the defector's phone. However, the officer caught up. The soldier tried to run away but was shot by the officer. But the soldier endured the intense pain and continued to run forward, because as long as he crossed that borderline, he would survive. Then the officer shot at him again. The soldier reached out his hand in desperation to touch the borderline. Only when he touched the borderline did he relax. At that moment, several border soldiers came over with guns. The officer silently looked at the soldier and finally left.